My name is Dr. Lakshmi from OBG department. My topic for today is diagnosis, clinical features of pregnancy with differential diagnosis and immunological tests in pregnancy. So let us start with the diagnosis. First point is the menstrual age, which is also called as the gestational age. It starts from the first day of the last menstrual period, 9 months and 7 days, totally 280 days or 40 weeks. According to trimesters, first trimester is the first 12 weeks, second trimester is from 13 to 28 weeks, third trimester from 29 to 40 weeks. Coming to the diagnosis, the first symptom being amenorrhea, that is cessation of menstruation or a missed period. It is due to increased estrogen and progesterone production by the corpus luteum. Slight bleeding at the expected time of menstruation rarely occurs in the first 3 months, which is called as Hartmann sign or placental scan. It should not be confused with threatened abortion. Second symptom being morning sickness, which occurs in more than 50% of the cases. It usually appears soon following the missing period. Nausea, vomiting, especially in the morning or rising from the bed. It usually disappears after the third month. If it is excess in the first month, it is called as hyperemesis gravidarum, which may require admission also. Third symptom is frequency of maturation. Due to congestion of bladder mucosa, irritation of the bladder by the pregnant uterus, resting of bulky uterus on the bladder, which is anteverted position of the uterus, change in maternal osmoregulation leads to increased thirds and polyuria. It usually disappears after the third month. Fourth one being breast symptoms, which is enlargement, heaviness, discomfort and pricking sensation. It usually occurs in 6 to 8 weeks, especially in primi-gravidae. There will be many appetite changes also, like craving towards some of the food and refusal of the other food. The craving is called as pica. The sixth being the fatigue, which is the frequent symptom that may occur in pregnancy and tendency to sleep. These are all the symptoms of pregnancy which the patient tells you once she visits you in the OPD. Now coming to the objective signs. Signs which you look for in a pregnant woman. Coming to the first one, that is the breast signs, they will be more evident in the primigravida, usually between 6 to 8 weeks. There will be increased size and vascularity, dilated visible superficial veins. Next, coming to the nipple, that there will be increased pigmentation of the nipple and areola, appearance of the first and the second areola, appearance of Montgomery tubercles in the areola, which are the dilated sebaceous gland, expression of colostrum in some, which might be thick yellowish as early as 12th week. In some it is. These are all the signs of breast in pregnancy. As the pregnancy advances, the second areolar region increases. The superficial dilated veins can be prominent in the late pregnancy and even appearance of Montgomery tubercles. These are the 3-4 signs which you look for in the breast of a pregnant lady. Appearance of Montgomery tubercle in the areola, they are nothing but they are the dilated sebaceous gland. Those are all breast changes. Now coming to per abdomen. Uterus remains a pelvic organ until 12th week. You won't be able to palpate uterus till the 12th week, that is the third month. It may be just felt per abdomen or a suprapubic bulge might be felt. Now next is pelvic changes which you look for, that is Jack-Weimer's or Chadwick sign, Osiander sign and Goodell sign. Coming to first sign, that is Jack-Weimer's sign. It is also known as Chadwick sign. It is the dusky hue of the vestibule and anterior vaginal wall visible at 8th week. It is more pronounced as pregnancy advances and is more definitely present in multipare. It is due to the local vascular congestion. Osiander sign, increased pulsation felt through the lateral fornices at 8th week. Goodell sign, cervix becomes soft as early as 6th week when you are doing a PV. It will become soft. Softening is more surrounding the external os and also in the upper part. The pregnant cervix feels like the lips of the mouth. On speculum examination, the bluish discoloration of the cervix is visible due to the increased vascularity. Next, coming to the uterine sign, which is felt by bimanual examination. Size is enlarged, consistency is soft, shape is globular. Now coming to the Hagar sign, which is elicited between 6 to 10 weeks. 2 fingers in the anterior fornix, the fingers of the other hand over the abdomen behind the uterus. The fingers of both hands can be approximated as the lower part of the uterine body is soft and empty. Second one is the Palmer sign, uterine contractions felt on bimanual examination. Coming to the immunological tests, various immunological tests which are available for the diagnosis of the pregnancy and their principles on which they work for. HCG, human chorionic gonadotrophin. This hormone is only released by the trophoblastic tissue produced by a growing fetus and its associated placenta. HCG is present in the maternal circulation as either an intact dimer, it might be alpha or a beta subunit, or it might be in the degraded form or a beta core fragment. Detection of HCG in maternal serum and urine is evident in only 8 to 10 days after conception. HCG is detectable in the serum of approximately 5% of patients 8 days after conception and in more than 98% of patients by day 11. So as the day advances, more positive tests for the HCG. Diagnostic levels in urine seen in only about 23 to 24 days after conception. Levels peak at 10 to 12 weeks gestation and then plateau before falling. So this is the HCG curve which is going on rising for some weeks or some days post ovulation later, which increases as the placenta takes over and plateaus later. So this is very much important. In general, the HCG level will double every 2 or 3 days in early pregnancy. It is usually every 2 days. It will double. That is called as doubling, which you will be seeing when you are seeing a patient of an ectopic. Now coming to blood tests for HCG, used only in special cases which has a bad obstetric history, like I said, suspicion of ectopic. So currently 4 main HCG assays are used. First one is radioimmunoassay, second one immunoradiometric assay, third one is ELISA, fourth one is fluoroimmunoassay. Coming to the first one, which is a radioimmunoassay, its sensitivity is only when it is 5 milli international unit per ml. Time to complete is 4 hours. Post-conception age when first positive is 10 to 18 days. Gestational age when first positive is 3 to 4 weeks. The second one being immunoradiometric assay, which is more sensitive. Sensitivity is 150 milliunits per ml. Time to complete 30 minutes. Post-conception age when first positive is 18 to 22 days. Gestational age when first positive is 4 weeks. Immunoradiometric assay, which is very less sensitive. Sensitivity is 1500 milliunit international units per ml. Time to complete, it takes 2 minutes. Post-conception age is 25 to 28 days. Gestational age is 5 weeks. ELISA, enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, it is more sensitive. Sensitivity is 25 milli international units per liter per ml. Time to complete is 80 minutes. Post-conception age is 14 to 17 days. Gestational age when first positive is 3.5 weeks. Enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. Sensitivity is less than the same thing what I told. Then fluoroimmunoassay, sensitivity is 1 milli international unit per ml. Time to complete is 2 to 3 hours. Post-conception is 14 to 17 days. Gestational age when first positive is 3.5 weeks. The other parameter being the ultrasound. Intradecidual gestational sac is identified as early as 29 to 35 days of gestation. Gestational sac and yolk sac 5 menstrual weeks. Fetal port and cardiac activity 6 weeks. Embryonic movements 7 weeks. Doppler effect of ultrasound can pick heart rate reliably by 10th week. Now, diagnosis in the second trimester that is studied 28 weeks is as usual the amenorrhea, morning sickness might continue, and even the urinary symptoms. Quickening is the addition over here, which is the perception of fetal movements by the pregnant woman. It is usually 18 to 20 weeks in primi gravida and earlier in a multi para, that is 16 to 18 weeks, and there will be abdominal enlargement also. Now coming to the abdominal examination, inspection, you see a single dark line that is straight, which is linea nigra, extending from pubic symphysis to ensiform cartilage by 20th week. There will be strias, which might be both pink and white, visible in the lower abdomen, more towards the flanks. On palpation, you are going to see the fundal height according to the weeks, increased with progressive enlargement of the uterus. 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 22 weeks, 28, 32, 36, 40, 38, like that. It is usually measured in the tape from the pubic symphysis to the fundal height. The uterus is abdominally felt ovoid. The uterus feels soft and elastic. Sometimes you might feel Braxton Hicks contractions also, which are intermittent painless contractions detected by abdominal examination. Active fetal movements can be felt at intervals by placing the hand over the uterus as early as 20 week. External ballotment elicited at 20 week. Palpation of the fetal parts and palpation of the fetal movements by the obstetrician. It is usually about 20 weeks. Now coming to the last one, which is the auscultation. Auscultation of FHS as early as 20 to 24 weeks by Pinard stethoscope. It will be like a phonic shuffle due to the rush of blood through the umbilical artery. Auscultation of the uterine shuffle will also be there. Soft blowing and systolic murmur heard low over on the sides of the uterus, which is synchronous with the maternal pulse, that is the uterine shuffle. Now coming to investigations, that is routine sonography at 18 to 20 weeks, which is the anomaly scan, which is very much important. Fetal organ anatomy, fetal viability. So diagnosis in the third trimester, amenorrhea. Next is enlargement of the abdomen leading to discomfort to the patient. Palpitation or dyspnea following exertion. Lightening is the sign which occurs at the 30th week or nearing term. It is a sense of relief of the pressure symptoms due to the engagement of the presenting part. As the head comes down, the relieving sign occurs. Frequency of maturation again reappears due to the irritation of bladder by the head. Fetal movements are more pronounced in the third trimester. Now, what are the signs? Cutaneous changes are more prominent with increased pigmentation and striae in the third trimester. Uterine shape also from cylindrical, it becomes to spherical beyond 36 weeks. Fundal height distance from between the umbilicus, no, it is actually, okay, you are measuring the fundal height. So it is the junction of the upper and the middle third as it's given your textbook 32, 36 and 40 weeks. This is very much important. Symphysiofundal height, that is upper border of the fundus located by the ulnar border of the left hand and point is marked. You usually don't mark, you keep your hand over there. Before that, you correct the dextrorotation of the uterus. You tell the patient to empty the bladder. Then only you start examining for the symphysiofundal height. So the patient has passed urine. She is in straight, that is supine position. Then you have corrected the dextroversion with one hand and you have kept your left hand on the fundal height, that is the fundus grip, upper border of the fundus. Then you start measuring. Distance between the upper border of the pubic symphysis up to the point marked is measured in centimeter after 24 weeks. Please note, whenever you measure fundal height, it is not a rule that it has to be corresponding. Only you start measuring the symphysiofundal height after 24 weeks. After 24 weeks, the symphysiofundal height in centimeter, it corresponds to the number of weeks up to 36 weeks. And you can feel some Braxton Hicks contraction also. And sometimes fetal movements can also be felt. palpation of the fetal parts and their identification, it becomes much easier. Then fetal heart sound is heard distinctly. There is a sonography which you usually do for the fetal growth assessment, amniotic fluid and estimated fetal weight and the presentation, and even biophysical profile, and sometimes Doppler. Now coming to the differential diagnosis of pregnancy. Other than pregnancy, with all these usual symptoms of pregnancy, what it might be? It might be an uterine fibroid because it presents as mass per abdomen in a reproductive age lady. Second one being cystic ovarian tumor, amenorrhea absent, firm hard positive sign absent USG. So the other one is encysted tubercular peritonitis, which is very rare. Hematometra, usually it won't come to so much of height, but yes, it is one of the differential diagnosis. First differential diagnosis is a distension urinary bladder. Ask the patient to pass urine every time you examine a patient. Next is the pseudocyesis, which is usually the psychiatric thing. Thank you.